Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and I'm here today with the LEGO Bionicle figure 8592 Turahk. That's not Turok like the Nintendo 64 game. This is Turahk from the Rahkshi group from Bionicle. This was released about 2003 if I recall correctly, and just like the Borak Call that came right before it, there is one for each color in the story. Obviously, you could buy multiples of these in order to collect all the little pieces in between. We'll talk more about that a little later in the video. But in the mainline story, there's only one in red, one in green, one in white, one in blue, one in brown, one in black. I think that's all the colors. Yeah, 6 of them. So pretty much when you see one of these, you've seen them all. It's another one of those types of villains, villain sets that it's pretty much the same for every other color. Very minor differences between them. Everything you see on here that's in red is pretty much color swapped for all the other versions. As I mentioned, the colors just right now. The silver pieces on top are actually unique to each figure. So they have the unique spine for this one only with this figure, and you have the unique ends only with this figure. At the time of release, that is. Of course, as the years went on, this piece would also be used in several other Bionicle sets. So each of these figures have pretty good articulation to them. A bunch of ball joints that you could use around the wrists, the shoulder area. You actually have knees. Bionicle figures that have knees started here. I don't think they had them before this point, which is actually pretty cool. You also have some around the ankles and hips. And you have pretty much the same play feature for all of them in which you could swing their arm, or staff, with the arms, back and forth. So that's actually pretty cool. And you also have another play feature with it, and just like the previous ones, they have a creature that's inside of the robot that's controlling it. So this one has it on this spine area. You open that up, and you can see the Crata. That's different from the Krana from Borak. The Crata is the little leech-like thing. They're actually different. There are like 6 different versions for each color in the main line of the releases sets, and they're identified as stages 1 through 6. So they get more powerful as they get towards stage 6. I'm not really sure which stage this one is particularly, but they all look pretty cool. They are roughly the same size, and they just have different markings on the front of them, and a little bit on the sides. And the main storyline for each of these, or main set line for each of these, has 6, so there will be 36 to collect of these colors. However, there are more to collect outside of that. They had a re-release of these in the later half of 2003, after the initial wave of these were released, in which there was a limited edition Shadow Crata series. And basically, it was the same exact figure, but on the packaging, it would let you know if there was a Shadow Crata inserted inside. Now, I never owned any of these, and I don't know if there was, if it had the main one like you saw in here and the Shadow, or it had it in place of the original one. I'm not sure the case, but if you did, let me know in the comments. I'd be very interested to know. So that means you'd have closer to 40-something of these little things inside to collect, and they do actually fit on Toa faces. The standard, the classic standard of Toa faces fits those Crata on there, same way the Crata do, and it looks like it's just kind of like coming down the face, so it's actually pretty cool. And they also work with other sets in the 2003 wave. If you remember the review I had of Takanuva, I mentioned how you could fit the Crata inside of each of those canisters. That's the same spine. That's the same piece that's used for the makeup of the Usanui in that set. So that's pretty cool that you could interact with the figures like that. And it's actually a pretty good sized figure compared to the Toa. It stands roughly the same height, a little bit different, but not too bad. So overall, it's a nice figure. And I'm just going to say it for all 6 of them. They're really nice. They are pretty much the same. The combo models were a little hard to work with in terms of, how the pieces were arranged, but it's still a pretty cool collection of villains. And altogether, they look really cool when you just take, if you just bend a knee on one of them, you angle it a little bit, and you can just have them all stabbing the ground. And you kind of have that sort of pose for when you get them into the canister, so that adds a little bit of extra coolness to them. They do have a lot of posability. I do have to give them credit on that. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've collected the Rahkshi from Bionicle. If you're even into Bionicle, I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe you'll check out some of the other reviews I have on my channel. I mentioned before about the Bionicle, which I've reviewed some of those before. I've reviewed Takanuva, which I mentioned before. I reviewed that one. So you can check those out, and many more Bionicle figures. We'll see you next time with more LEGO videos. I don't know if I'm going to review all of the Rahkshi, not just because they're all the same, but even if I'm just going to do reviews for them, you know, I'll just show them all at the same time if I have them all built at the same time or something. Well, we'll see what happens. Just stay here and check out more videos.